there's a lot of units out there that are undertrained, either because they're either underfunded or they just don't have time in their day-to-day operations to put a training session, because maybe they don't have a designated training facility, or they don't have access to a larger when they can't get on a schedule or whatnot. Hey guys, this is Chase Tobin and Matt Scott from Kontek Industries, and welcome back to Complacency Kills, the Kontek podcast. This is episode 26, Shoot House Training. Matt, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Very good now.
Long time no see. Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you. I decided to go ahead and match up with you.
Hey, you know what? I don't know who planned this, James, but it was very well done. So,
Thank you.
Hey, what are we talking about today, man?
I want to go ahead and bring it up and kind of call this episode Shoot House Training.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Shoot House. It's one of our cool products we got here.
Yeah, believe it or not, episode 26. We haven't had the luxury of actually diving in and talking about Shoot House Training.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
In all 26, we really haven't.
No.
I guess you're right. Yeah, hey, no time like the present. So let's get into it. Talk about the Shoot House, talk about its capabilities. See if you guys got any questions listening out there, we'd appreciate you tuning in. So what you got for me, Matt?
Well, I want to go ahead and talk about, the obvious training on why the Shoot House is important, but realistically, why does it imply today, importantly, for law enforcement, military, nuclear security? Why is it so well?
So the Shoot House, we saw a need for the Shoot House in all across all aspects of operator training, from law enforcement all the way up to the military. There's a gap in training between a live fire Shoot House scenario and just like chalkboard or tape houses. There's a missing element there, and that's a realistic simunition training facility that is not only cost effective, but it's also easy to set up and it's easy to reconfigure. So that's kind of the whole purpose behind the Mobile Modular Shoot House that we have at Kontek. It's important because there's a lot of units out there that are undertrained, either because they're either underfunded or they just don't have time in their day-to-day operations to put a training session, because maybe they don't have a designated training facility or they don't have access to a larger when they can't get on a schedule or whatnot. So bringing it full circle, the reason we have this Shoot House is to be able to get any agency out there some type of training that they can be better at their job, more proficient at their job, less lawsuits, less loss of life, preservation of not only the operator but anybody that they're engaging with on a day-to-day operation.
Right.
Long answer to a short question, but I hope that was
no, that's perfect. That's perfect. No, because little kid inside of me is like But back in our experience, and I know we were a little bit different, being out in 3.6 LAR, and you were doing
fast guys.
Yeah, fast guys. Yep. Tape houses were the only thing that we had access to.
Us too.
And then some original effect of using SOI stuff, but it was nothing in the lines of what Kontek has actually developed. And I want to go ahead and talk about why was it engineered and implemented that way? Why was it so easily done?
What, the Shoot House?
Yeah.
Well, it just made sense. We got a bunch of smart guys at the office, and we had it again. We identified that gap in training, and we brought the product to market. And it was just, hey, here's a system that, again, it's all made of PVC and aluminum, so it can be set up anywhere. Literally, we talk about in the Marine Corps, any climb, any place, right? But it can be set up anywhere we want to, on relatively flat ground. And instead of, again, having just your little tape house set up, now you actually have walls to that, and you can do your movement and communication through your house. You can do your tactical side exploitation. You can do marksmanship or force-on-force training inside the Shoot House with sims, and then you can reconfigure however you want to, doing a crawl, walk, run method to train your guys to proficiency. And then you put them in a live fire Shoot House.
Fair enough.
Most live fires, aren't really reconfigurable that easily anyways. So you may run the same house over and over and over again on multiple deployments and multiple operations. And it's good because you put the marksmanship, you get to feel the effects of a live round inside of a house, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. Where this product comes in handy is you can change up your scenario however you want to, or create a scenario based on a real life operation to train to that standard. And it doesn't get, you don't do rote memorization, you actually learn tactic and doctrine.
We kind of rewind just a tad,
Sure.
And can you go a little bit more in depth? I mean, everyone and anyone knows about active shooters,
Yep.
right? But it's specifically designed for law enforcement, military, or whatnot. But active shooter events, schools,
Yep.
churches, all that. Does this really imply? Can you manipulate the Shoot House to actually progress in that way forward for those specific areas?
100%. You can literally set this product up in whatever scenario you want to create. As high threat or as just low threat as you want to. The threshold just depends on your specific organization, your agency, your jurisdiction, your area of operations, whatever it might be. It's literally mission adaptable to, again, if I'm doing a training mock raid to go get bin Laden, or if I'm going to stop this guy from shooting up this church or school, you can run the whole gamut with it. And again, it's easy to set up. That's one of the big takeaways from it.
One other question I wanted to add in is, have we had any solid feedback from the shoot house, from the training, from all of this being delivered? And if so, and I don't know if you can actually name what units, companies, or whatnot, but any solid feedback that actually has progressed their training on using that shoot house.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, the feedback, we're on probably Gen 4 of the shoot house itself. Okay. So going off the feedback of the guys who originally got the systems out to, we went from a 3D printed connector system and thumb screws with 8-foot tall panels to now machined aluminum connectors. A bolted system makes it a lot easier, a lot quicker to set up, as well as a 7-foot system because it makes it lighter and easier to move the panels around. So that came directly from feedback from the end users. That being said, a lot of these guys, agencies in North Carolina and some in South Carolina, that have told me specifically that, hey, we use this product to create they basically took a blueprint of a felony warrant they were getting ready to serve. They made the shoot house in that blueprint, and they were able to go execute that warrant with no issue. They followed their plan exactly like it was, and nobody got hurt, nobody got killed. They took care of the suspect, got him into custody, and everything is good to go, because they were able to literally recreate the house they were getting ready to go serve that warrant on, and use their simulation training and their movement communication to go in and take care of that situation.
Now, I know we're talking about the use of it all.
Yeah.
Let's talk about building the thing.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't erect itself.
No.
But I know it's easy because we've done it many of times.
Yes.
We've done it in the rain.
Yep.
In the heat.
Yep.
Cold.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
So the setup, I wouldn't call it construction. It's more of a setup, kind of almost like an erector set, right? It takes a couple guys, like I'm doing a demo later this week. By the time this comes out, it'll have already passed, I'm sure. But generally when we do our demo unit, it's about 500 square feet total. Once we get it set up, it's about a 4-room setup. 3 guys just kind of going through the motions can get it set up in less than an hour and a half. Very simple setup. You were on a build with us not that long ago for an agency in North Carolina. It took 5 guys about 4 hours and some change to set up a 2,200 square foot system.
That's right.
I did a demo, or not a demo, it was actually set up for a unit in South Carolina. It was a almost 3,000 square foot system. It was myself, a corporal, a sergeant, and 10 cadets. We had the thing up in 3 hours. So with the right training, the right personnel, it's really not hard to set up, and you can do it very, very quickly. As far as reconfiguring your rooms and whatnot, again, as long as you've got getting back to the build, as long as you've got a relatively flat surface, it can be a little bit uneven, but as long as it's relatively flat, you can set it up anywhere. Again, any climb, any place. And then when you're going to move around your wall panels, all you've got to do is literally cut a couple zip ties, move a couple panels around. You've got a whole new scenario to train on in a matter of about probably 5 minutes. So it's a very, very simple system to utilize. If you wanted to compare that to some of the other systems that are out there, some of them you have to inflate, which is cool, but now you have to have a dedicated power supply. You have to have the generator to blow the thing up, and then it hooks together with like a carabiner type system. Still has a solid place. The walls are a little bit thicker, but that takes just a little bit of time. It's just a different setup. Other systems are heavier. They're made of wood. They're a little bit thicker, but it's also heavier. You have to have a more robust system to not only get it into place, but then when you go moving the walls and things like that around, it's just harder to do because the panels are heavier and whatnot. And then there's another system out there that's essentially a pipe and drape system. If you've ever been to a showroom with Velcro, and it's not a shower curtain, but it's a thicker kind of tarp material. It's got its place. It's a very cheap system, but it can take a long time to set it up just because you got to get that Velcro right.
So I know the competitors' needs and whatnot, but why the use of this type of material? Why the aluminum?
So our system was not only because it's set up to be cost effective, number one. There's a lot of systems out there that can get kind of pricey, especially some of the automated systems and whatnot. You can look up to, 200, 250K or more to put some of those guys in. Our largest package is under 70K. So the materials, it's PVC and aluminum. So it's not going to break. It's not going to rust. You can literally set it up and leave it up outdoors. You can set it up indoors, leave it up, set it up wherever you want to. But the reason we chose PVC and aluminum, again, is for that elements. We got guys on the coast who have these things set up all the time. They don't want this stuff to rust. You don't have to worry about it. You got guys out in the Midwest and it's snowing to be able to set it up and not have to worry about it. If you got tornadoes or storms or something like that, okay, let's be smart about it, take it down. But it's a cost-effective solution, very easy to set up, and can be set up literally anywhere. That's the idea behind the system.
So it really is that simple.
It is literally that simple. And the kicker, I don't even think we've talked about this whole time, the whole thing, after you get the bolts and the framing up, all the panels are held up by zip ties. So your only consumable after you have it is zip ties. Just go order some more zip ties. They're not expensive. The system is also scalable. So if your organization needs to buy, like say, a small kit or our Sierra package right off the bat, just so they have something, next year if they get more money because somebody said, hey, this is an awesome system, it's not expensive, we've already used it and cut back on training costs and things like that, let's get more of it and incorporate it into what you've got. Now you've got a large system and it integrates completely in with the original system.
So integrating systems, I mean, you can obviously build, retract.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about, because I've seen it before, I've installed it before with you, breaching doors.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of departments are so into right now breaching doors because it goes with their design-based threat.
Yep. It makes sense. If you are an operator, you want to get into an objective, your first thing you have to do is to be able to get into it. That's why breachers are so important. So our system already has a light breaching door. It's just one of our normal door panels with a strike plate and a dowel system. So it allows any breacher just to go up there, not 100% speed, but to be able to go in there and go ahead and make that breach to go through the motions of getting into the structure or the objective, whatever it is. But we also can incorporate any type of breach door freestanding into the system, whether it's one that's already got a leg kit or one that's already bolted into a concrete pad and you build the shoot house around it. There's several brands out there, BTI, Rapid Assault Tools, whatever you want to use, we'll incorporate into our system with no problem. I just did it a couple weeks ago out in the middle of a field. We set up a door system. Go check the video out. It's on Instagram. We set up the door system. Guys made entry with the breach door, and we had it set to max power too. These guys had to give it a couple whacks at different points to get into the system. Didn't damage our system. Didn't hurt the door. They got in, had great training out of it. So any type of breach door that's out there, generally speaking, we can incorporate into our system.
That's what I'm talking about.
See?
All right, so tell me about these demos, because you travel everywhere
to
go do the demos, man.
We do.
Yeah, you hit the doorbell. It's like, hey, we're here, baby.
That's pretty much how it works. Now, a lot of times with the demo is the way that comes about, you just let me know if you want to see it. A lot of times what we can do now that we've got them in places all over the country is I can say, hey, there's a unit near you. You're my potential customer. There's a unit near you. Let's go check out their system. Let you talk to them and see how their pros and cons about it. They'll tell you straight up. Nobody likes talking to sales guys. I'd rather let another unit who's already using it kind of be the go-between on that. Let them talk about it. They touch it, see it, feel it, kick the tires. Awesome. And I'll tell you, you tell me what you want. I'll give you the price. We go out the door. If there's not one close to you, we can potentially bring our demo trailer to that particular organization. Mm-hmm. If it's kind of a ways out there, we like to try to get several eyes on. So if there's other adjacent agencies around that particular one, if it's say local law enforcement, maybe there's a National Guard base, maybe there's a sheriff's department, something like that. We try to get them all in one spot, so as many eyes as we can get on it to check it out and see. They can have a look at it, touch it, see it, feel it, train on it, whatever they want to do with it. And then when we're done with that, we just bounce out and go. It's pretty simple process. We usually show up the day before, set it up, day of the demo, everybody sees it, we break it down, we either head home that night or go camp out, and we make it home eventually, let's put it that way. It takes about an hour to do that setup, and the demo can be as long as we want to. We've got an event coming up later on this week. Again, I don't know when this video is coming out, but in Fredericksburg, Virginia, going to have a lot of guys come in, do eyes on it. I've done a couple SWAT competitions this year. We've hucked this thing all across the country. So it's definitely doable for us to get it out to people. But the first thing I like to do is tell people, hey, if there's one nearby, let's go check that one out first, so you can touch it, see it, feel it with guys who are already using it. Get their feedback. Don't listen to me. I'm just a sales guy. You know.
So it's almost like a networking magnet.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's an outstanding tool. Again, very affordable. It's not going to break anybody's bank putting it out there and getting it on site. Most people honestly go with our largest package just because it's the most bang for the buck. You're looking at maybe 70 grand tops with shipping. And then we'll come help you set up that initial time if the video isn't good enough. So
That's pretty solid right there.
We got good videos. Shout out Ryan Weber Marketing. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Don't forget about my man James Gandy.
Well, I know he writes these scripts. I just kind of go down the outline. Yeah, we didn't follow script at all, but that's okay.
That's more than fine. But yes, everyone, it is that simple.
That simple. It really is. It really is that simple. It's an outstanding tool. If you don't have one, you need one.
To be honest, it's a punch to the gut for the guys that have never had the opportunity to use something like this.
Oh, 100%.
20, 30 years ago when we were in. But
I wasn't in 30 years ago. I don't know how old you are, but
I'm old, boy.
I know that when I was an infantry squad leader, if I could have had this system in a Connex box, that all I had to do was go tell my junior guys or tell my team leaders, hey guys, we've got a mount package coming up next month. Let's train for it. So instead of clearing the barracks with blue guns or our rifles all day long, let's go down to the quad, to the basketball court, set up the shoot house, because you don't need range control or anything like that. You just set up, especially if you're not firing sim rounds, you're just doing movement and communication through a structure, conducting your tactical side exploitation. You can do threat, no threat stuff. You can do everything you need to do in a live fire shoot house without the rounds. And that's almost more important sometimes, is that movement and communication, because the marksmanship is going to come. But if you know what to do, your concurrent duties, besides eliminating that threat, that's essential. And to be able to do that over and over again until we are super proficient at it without doing a tape house, that would have made our unit, which was stellar, by the way. We were awesome. Shout out 2-4. And my fast guys. Would have taken us to the next level. That would, again, like you said, it's a punch in the gut. I wish I'd had this when I was in.
Yeah. So can we? I just want to go back and talk about threat, no threat, and then adding things into the shoot house to maintain that capability of actually going through and mimicking almost like an active shooter event, active fire event. You going in and let's do a hostage rescue type deal. Has that been employed? At least to your knowledge?
I'm sure it has. I haven't had guys, I don't get into guys, once the guys have it, I don't really get into telling how they need to train, how they don't need to train, but you could absolutely do that. 100%. You could have guys going through with either blue guns or paint rounds or whatever you wanted to do, and have guys basically do force on force inside of the system. Or you could just do it where we used to have guys, if I cleared a room and a tape house even, and they had their back to me, I would turn around, I would flash 1, 2, or 3, and that would be either, whatever, threat unknown or threat, or threat unknown or I'm blanking.
Yeah.
You're non-threat, right? Whatever. The shoot, no shoot, or unknown, right? And then you would have to make a decision based upon that. You can absolutely do that in-house. Whether guys are doing it now or not, I don't know. Tactics evolve, tactics change, but you can absolutely do that if you have this system.
I know this is a podcast, but I know we have several videos out on YouTube. Yes. Can you go ahead and name a few of those?
Off the top of my head, without having it in front of me, no. But if you just go to Kontek, the website, or if you go to Kontek Industries YouTube channel and just type in Shoot House, you're going to get the Shoot House setup video. You're going to be how to use it with CQB. You're going to get CQB in action with the Shoot House. There's a lot of things you can type in, and I believe they're all categorized on there as well. I think we actually have a playlist with nothing but Shoot House videos. So definitely just check that out. You can go see the whole thing. About as in close to person as I can. And aside from doing a demo, those videos are stellar, and will give you all the information that you need to know to check this out. So shout out to James and Ryan for putting that together again.
Kontek Cat videos.
We need to do that for sure.
All right, man. Well,
anything else you got, bud?
That wraps me up for right now. You have any last words for the camera?
No, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in very much. This is Complacency Kills, a Kontek podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys have any questions about Kontek, anything about what we do, please reach out to us at info@kontekindustries.com. Again, I'm Chase Tobin.
Matt Scott.
We'll catch you guys next month.
Oh, boy.